Konnichiwa. Welcome to Chocolate with Ed Garcia. The best part of Chocolate with Ed Garcia is Ed Garcia. No. The best part is chocolate. Get your chocolate. Today we have Okinawa chocolate. Very good, very good. Open your chocolate. Open your chocolate. Bring it near your mouth. Go. Oishi. Okay, today's topic is Speech 20, Estoppel and Inter partes review. Today's case is a CAFC case, Court of Appeals for Federal Circuit, regarding AYLUS Networks versus Apple. The contents are here. We're going to do history. We're going to talk about reissue law, again, claim 2 only. By argument, the patent owner has effectively inserted the word only into the claim. They argue that this is the proper interpretation. Then we have the petition for IPR was not granted, and estoppel applied during litigation. Because of estoppel, because of the word only, Apple does not infringe. Why? Why did the owner create estoppel? And the answer is, it was a smart move. There was good reason why the patent owner argued that it should be interpreted as only. Okay, let's discuss the history. The history includes patent, a reissue patent, and notice it was filed less than 2 years from the issue date of the patent. Therefore, you can expand the scope of the claims. You can do anything except you cannot add new matter. Okay, after they received the reissue patent, they, the patent owner, sued Apple and sued many other people also. Apple filed an IPR, inter partes review, and another IPR, inter partes review. Now, inter partes review is a petition, a request to the patent office to re-examine this patent. It used to be called inter partes re-examination, but that has been replaced by inter partes review, which is a bit more complex. It's closer to a trial, as we will see. Now, the inter partes review by the Patent Trial and Appeal Board by the United States Patent Office said the patent is good. How did they say this? They said, we refuse to grant the petition. We refuse to re-examine the patent. The petition by Apple to re-examine the patent through the inter partes review process is denied. We deny the petition. We say no, because based on, well, you'll see why. Now, the U.S. District Court said Apple does not infringe the patent due to estoppel, and ALIS, patent owner, appeals to the CAFC, Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, and the CAFC says Apple does not infringe because of estoppel. Estoppel means you're stopped from saying something, and we'll see what estoppel is in this case. As we discussed in the previous speech, speech 19, here's the reissue law, and the important thing is, if you file a petition for a reissue less than or equal to 2 years from the date of issue of the original patent, then it's okay to enlarge. Now, as we discussed in the last speech 19, but I'm going to review momentarily, the reissue application is issued as, or reissued, as an image. This is the image, okay? 300 dots per inch, so the image quality is not very good. And italics is used to show which words have been added or which claims have been added in the reissue application, and brackets are used to show which words are deleted. So here, these words are added, and in other claims, other things are deleted and added. But anyway, the point is this, that the image is not very good. It's not very clear. This is the year 2021, but the Patent Office has low quality images. Continuing. If we look at the Patent Office text version of this reissue patent, the text version shows this. For the added words wide area, the text version shows .I add wide area space .I add end. Okay, so there's the logic. They're showing the logic characters for the text. Text special control characters, apparently. So you're inserting something, you're starting the insertion, starting add, wide area space, and then you're ending the add. All right. Yeah, here we go. Now, if you look at Google Text will show you the added words without italics in a reissue patent, and they will also show you the deleted words will also be present. So the point is this: the USPTO image is of low quality. The USPTO text is of, well, let's call it awkward, with special characters like this. And Google Text is also unclear what's being added and what's being subtracted. So you may get, for example, comprising next to the word included. If they deleted included and put in comprising, you'll see both words in Google, as we said in speech 19. Now, let's talk about claim 2. Claim 2 is the important claim. Claim 2 was not amended in the reissue application. Now, claim 2 says, wherein the CCP, which is one type of logic, is invoked to negotiate media content delivery. Okay, that's relatively clear English. Wherein the CCP logic is invoked. All right. And by the way, claim 1 says comprising. So you can invoke the CCP logic, and comprising means that you can also do other things, right? You may invoke another logic. Now, in its inter partes review petition, Apple argued that claim 2 was not valid, claim 2 was not valid because claim 2 was anticipated by other references. Claim 1 also invalid, allegedly. Now, the owner, the patent owner, the reissue owner, filed a preliminary response in response to the petition. So the Patent Office receives the petition and asks the patent owner, do you want to make a preliminary response? We haven't not granted the petition, but do you have anything to say? And patent owner, reissue owner, said, claim 2 should be interpreted in this way, wherein only the CCP logic is invoked to negotiate media content delivery under certain conditions. Now, the preliminary response also argued that when you interpret it this way, as it should be interpreted, allegedly, then it is different than Apple's cited references. This interpretation means that the claim is not anticipated by the Apple references. Therefore, if the Patent Office believes this, is certain of this, there's no reason to grant the petition. Or if the patent office is not sure, then the patent office can grant the petition, and think about it carefully. Now, what the patent office did here is a little bit unusual. The patent office agreed with the interpretation 100%. Oh, patent owner, you are 100% right. Very correct. Yes, clearly it means only. Beyond dispute. No one can even argue about it. We don't even want to hear Apple's arguments why there is no only. We 100% agree with you, patent owner, only. And once we make this interpretation, the references do not apply. We're 100% sure. So therefore, we do not grant a petition. Poof. Now, to summarize, the patent office agrees with the interpretation and the arguments and denies the petition. Thus, the reissue is strengthened in a way with respect to those references that Apple provided. So that's the good thing. But the bad thing is there may be some estoppel here, because you've argued that this word belongs here, that this word is implied, that this word is actually inherent in the interpretation. So, now, we step away from the case a little bit. Now, this is not what the U.S. Patent Office says. This is not what the courts say. This is what Ed Garcia says. But I think it's important here. I think the Patent Office made a mistake. They made a mistake. Whoa, the Patent Office makes a mistake? Yes. Very frequently, the Patent Office will make a mistake. So you should always consider that maybe the Patent Office is wrong when they do things. Now, as a former patent examiner, I have a view of the Patent Office, which is when they say something, I don't believe them. I think maybe they are correct, maybe they are not correct. I need to make up my own mind, my decision, whether I think they are correct or not correct. Interestingly, many U.S. attorneys have a very different approach to the Patent Office. Many U.S. patent attorneys say the Patent Office is wrong, the examiner is wrong, the examiner is wrong. Well, sometimes the examiner is correct. And in this case, the board, I believe, was wrong. But in this case, the board was wrong. But I never assumed this. I never assume that the Patent Office is wrong. I never assume that the Patent Office is correct. I always begin with maybe the Patent Office is correct, maybe the Patent Office is wrong. And in this case, the Patent Office is wrong. Let me explain. Only is a negative limitation. The word only is not in the claim, okay? They could have put the word only into the claim, and then it would be clear that it meant only. But the claim is a comprising style claim, which means that you can always add things. So if you do not specifically say only during the step, other things may occur at the same time. This is standard or normal interpretation. Now, let me show you another way to say this negative limitation, this only. Another way to say it is using more words to be more clear about what you're doing. Watch. Wherein the CCP logic is invoked and the CCP, Now let me show you another way to do it. Wherein the CCP logic is invoked and the CP logic is not invoked. Okay? This only in the interpretation means that the CP logic, the other logic they're discussing, is not invoked under these conditions. Okay? So the only here is a negative limitation. It means the CP logic is not invoked. However, watch this. If you say it this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, inserting 7 words, it is more likely that the patent office will say, no, 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 you're making a big change. That's not what the claim says. But the attorneys for the patent owner that argued it should be interpreted as only were very clever. They're like, oh, there's just this little word, only. It's just an adjective. It's only the CCP logic. Okay, it's implied. Look at all the figures. This is what we meant. Well, maybe they meant it, but it's not what they said. Now, I would be more generous with interpreting it this way if that occurred during the prosecution of the patent. It did not. It occurred after the patent was issued, and even more, it occurred after the reissue patent was issued. Okay, so there have been many attorneys reading these claims and thinking about exactly what they want, and they did not insert the word only here. Okay, so I would, if I was the patent office, I would have said, no, 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 I do not see this word here, so therefore I will not interpret it this way, or at a minimum I'm going to grant the inter partes review, and I'm going to consider the proper interpretation. That's what they should have done. But the judges are busy. Maybe they saw this as a nice, fast way to deny the petition for inter partes review. So there is maybe some political background here. They're trying to reduce their workload. So where were we now? Okay, I argue the inter partes review should have been granted, and at least claim 2 and claim 1 should have been invalidated based on Apple's references. Now, can Apple appeal this decision, this denial of inter partes review? And the answer is no. It's very interesting. The United States Supreme Court, SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, said you cannot appeal an inter partes review decision regarding whether to grant the petition or deny the petition, whether to start the inter partes review or deny the inter partes review. This decision cannot be appealed. It's very interesting. Kind of surprising. Okay, to summarize, I think the inter partes review should have been granted. However, according to SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, whether to institute an inter partes review is not appealable. And the law says this, and the Supreme Court agrees under most conditions. There's a few possible exceptions, but generally, no. So, now, Apple has lost its petition for inter partes review. However, recall, during the preliminary response that the patent owner said only should be interpreted, claim 2 should be interpreted with the word only being there. So, the district court interpreted claim 2 per the preliminary response of the reissue owner. Apple does not infringe. Of course, patent owner now is arguing, oh no, that was just during prosecution. This is litigation. There are different standards. We didn't really mean what we said. Pay no attention to what we said. We said we didn't really mean it. We kind of meant it, but now we don't. Yeah. So, the reissue owner was bound to its previous argument that it should be interpreted as only. That is estoppel. You are stopped from arguing otherwise. Before you argued only, interpreted as only, and now you, the patent owner, wants to argue, no, we were just kidding. We were joking. We didn't really mean it. oh yeah, you said it, and you are held to it. We hold you to it. We bind you to it. We stop you. We estoppel you from arguing anything different, which makes sense. All right, so district court said Apple does not infringe due to the interpretation with only, and it was appealed by patent owner to the CAFC Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, which came to the same conclusion. Apple does not infringe. Now, why? Why did the owner say only? Why did they do that? Why did they create estoppel? Why did they say those things? If you're the litigator now in front of the Court of Appeals for Federal Circuit for the patent owner, you hate the person that said only. Why did you say only? Why? Why did you do that? And the answer is because really they had to. They were forced to. They were looking at references from Apple in the IPR. They were looking at references that anticipated Claim 2. And the only way to not have Claim 2 100% destroyed, invalidated during the inter partes review was to argue, oh yes, Claim 2 means very broad, except not that. Not that reference. We mean everything we mean that it says, but not that. Patent owners make this argument frequently during patent prosecution. We're claiming all of this, and the examiner shows a reference, and you say, yes, we claim all of this except that, not that. We claim not that. And the examiner, if he's smart, will say, okay, put it in writing. Put not that in writing. Amend the claim. Okay? Amend the claim to say not that. Because I don't see this negative limitation, this not that, in the claim. That's what should have happened in this case. So, why? The answer is to keep the claim alive. By keeping the claim alive, keeping Claim 2 alive, to distinguish over the references, this way they can sue on Claim 2, they can keep the lawsuit alive, and maybe they settle. And maybe there are other people that are suing, and the other people see that patent owner wins the IPR, and the other people settle. They say, okay, we're tired of the litigation, we'll give you $10,000, just leave us alone. And you say, patent owner says, yeah, look, we won the IPR, the claims are still valid, give us $20,000. And maybe you get $20,000 or more from this person. And then someone else says, oh, they settled, well, we'll settle for $20,000. And you say, no, they settled for $20,000. They were the first person. We gave them a discount. You, $50,000. And maybe you get it. But in this case, Apple continued to litigate and won in district court, Northern District of California, and again won after appeal by patent owner, won in Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit. So Apple spent at least $2 million protecting itself, even though it won. It won, but it spent $2 million. So you can understand that many people don't want to continue litigation. They say, look, just here's $20,000, go away. So the patent owner, by keeping this claim alive, even though they were stopped, and even though they lost against Apple in the long run, by keeping it alive, they may have made money from other people they were suing. Okay? So it was well done. Now, of course, the argument created estoppel, and estoppel in the end meant that Apple did not infringe, but maybe other people continue to infringe. I don't know. Let's continue. So, did the owner make a mistake? As I said, no. The owner did not make a mistake. The owner was forced to do that to keep Claim 2 alive. The owner made a smart move. This interpretation kept Claim 2 alive, A narrow claim 2 stays alive in a lawsuit. An invalidated claim 2 has 0 value. And this is something many people don't understand. They say, why did you amend the claim? Why did you narrow the claim? And the answer is to keep it alive. Okay, sometimes you have to keep it alive. Of course, you don't want to. You would prefer if the broad claim was patentable and was valid, but sometimes you have to take desperate action and create prosecution history estoppel in order to keep the claim alive, in order to get the claim allowed. Now, as I said, other defendants might have paid money for licenses when the patent owner won the IPR, okay? When you win the IPR, your patent becomes more valuable in some respects. In this case, there was some decrease in value due to estoppel, due to narrowing of claim 2. However, it survived, right? The patent survived the inter partes review. And patent owner may have made a lot of money by keeping it alive. Continuing. So here are the resources, as usual. Chocolate with Ed Garcia on YouTube. And here's the CAFC case, A-List Networks patent owner versus Apple. And this is the end of Chocolate with Ed Garcia, Speech 20, Estoppel and Inter Partes Review. This was the best speech ever. The best speech ever. Yay! The best speech ever. Time for Mount Fuji. Here we have Kazusa Province Sea Route. We have 2 boats again, one in the front, one in the rear. Notice this artist often does this 2-boat theme, so it creates a sense of depth in the drawing. Mount Fuji way back here, and let's zoom in a little bit. Here's Mount Fuji, and notice how the rope and the sail make a triangle similar to Mount Fuji, and Mount Fuji is framed inside of the triangle. Very nice, artistically very nice. And notice exactly the ropes. One rope goes here, and another rope is tied between here and this corner of the sail. And similar here. Here's one rope, and part of it goes to the sail, part of it goes to this, what's this called? This stick. Yard arm, I think, in English. I'm not sure. This is the mast. This is the yard arm. What's interesting about these drawings is that they are historically accurate, okay? As we've seen from previous drawings. So this is accurate, is true, is correct. This is the way they tied these sails with rope many, many years ago. Fuji-san. Arigatou gozaimasu. Nihon ga daisuki desu. さよなら。